Welcome back to the Black Carnivore podcast. And today I am here with Erica, and I'm really, really excited to bring you her story. It is, I've heard some of it, and it is just really inspiring. And I so appreciate her for being willing to share her story. I think what I love about our channel is, our ability to bring stories that are unique and fresh and really represent our voices, our lives, our experience. And Erica, I think you're going to find her to be really captivating. So let's get right into it.
Well, I'm 33 years old. Um, I pretty much had came upon the carnivore diet from first starting the keto diet and intermittent fasting in 2018. Um, I had heard of it, first heard of the keto diet and intermittent fasting through watching YouTube ads of Dr. Berg. Um, his seminars, they kept sending, how YouTube send the ads, and I kept seeing his adrenal body type program seminar, and when I just came across it, I said I wanted to check it out and see what so much of the hype was about. So I looked at the whole ad and everything that he was saying, as far as like the symptoms of being adrenal body type, basically made sense to me, and it was exactly what I was going through at the time with the cravings for particularly salt and fatty foods, like chips and candy, specifically chocolate, which I did, and I always was sluggish throughout the day where I couldn't stay up throughout the day like any normal person. I would have to take naps just to get through, and my health overall was just like a roller coaster. Well, more like a domino effect. And I pretty much had listened and I wanted to try it out for myself. So I did as much research.
This is one of the frustrating things. Erica doesn't have a good Wi-Fi connection, so hopefully she will be able to come back in and join us and continue the story.
I went ahead and jumped into it because I felt it was the last resort. And I was tired of going through the ups and downs that I was with my weight and health overall. And one day I decided to just do it July the 4th, 2018. I figured to do it that particular day because I thought it would be more of a challenge and a challenge to myself to see if I could make it through this particular day where my family was coming over to celebrate by having a cookout, and you know how that goes with the snacks and chips and sugar and all. And I said, if I can survive this day, then I'm sure I can survive the days coming after. So I pretty much did it, and I was surprised that I was able to last that long, and that was the first day as well. I started to fast, and I was able to do that for 16 hours. And from that day on, I just took it one day at a time and kept going until pretty much where I'm now.
Wow. So that's really impressive that, that experience, worked for you. And it's interesting how many people come from Dr. Berg, because yeah, you're right. Those commercials are on all the time.
Yes, and it kept popping up on my computer screen, and I was looking at it, and I kept thinking, is this a sign for me to look at this? And I took it as such, and I'm glad that I did look at it because I feel like if I never did it, I might have been basically seen on TV now on The Biggest Loser.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, how? So, did you find that the keto diet really helped with some of your physical conditions? Did you start to, see improvement? Do you feel like you were losing weight, or what was your experience like doing that?
Doing that just alone, yes, it really did help me. Um, the first thing I noticed within the first, I would say, 3 days, I noticed what everyone talks about with the mental clarity. I wasn't having racing thoughts or overthinking like I usually do or really stressed. I actually had a clear head and was relaxed. The next thing I noticed was the decrease in appetite. I usually would feel really hungry, especially right after a meal, like every 30 minutes, and I had trouble trying to, keep my cravings under control. But from doing it, I was able to really control it better. Like I can eat, but I don't have to eat, was more like it. And then soon after that, yeah, the weight loss started coming off quickly. I knew the only thing I do regret from starting was that I didn't get the chance to weigh myself so I could have an accurate starting weight. But based off of my doctor's visit, which was like a week later after starting, it was 478. So I figured from me doing it for a week or so, I had to have lost maybe 10 pounds of water weight. So I guess it was 490 maybe or 488. And I actually used to always eat like the same foods, the foods that I like to eat specifically, because I'm a picky eater. I don't like to eat everything that's recommended to me, especially when it comes to vegetables. And I pretty much would stick with just eating my favorite particular foods. And the one food I liked eating mostly in the beginning was tuna fish for solid white tuna with broccoli, cauliflower, and like cheese, particularly Gouda cheese. I grew to like that a lot. And I would add like 1 tablespoon of curry gold butter with the salt in it for electrolyte benefit. And I would literally want to eat that all day, every day. But the weird part is when I first started, for it lasted maybe for a month. I don't know what happened, but I could not stand eating eggs anymore. I couldn't even eat it boiled, scrambled, or anything, and I love eggs. But I lost the taste for a month for eggs for some reason, and I was trying to figure out why. So I would technically stay away from eggs until I started getting the craving and taste back for it, which came back, I say, after a month or so. And now I can't get enough of it. That's mainly, I would say, my main side dish that I would eat even now during carnivore.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's interesting how eggs do that because I've gone in and out over the years of being able to eat eggs or having a taste for them. So, listen to your tastes, and when your body wants them again, you can have them. So, sounds like that worked out okay.
Yeah, but pretty much, I would say I did the keto and intermittent fasting from July 4th, 2018 up till I would say last year, about November 2019. that's when I really started noticing the craving for just wanting to eat meat. And I was wondering if I could just eat meat all the time, would that keep me satisfied? Or would I be experiencing, like, the hunger again and wanting to overeat? So I tried it and I loved it. I would eat the two burger patties with, of course, Gouda cheese on it and lettuce for bread replacement. And I loved eating it, and I would keep doing that until, of course, holiday time, Christmas, when family came over then. So I had went off from doing it and ended up gaining back, I would say, about 9 pounds from what I was at the time. And I said, that's it. I'm going to stick to doing the carnivore and officially start over as of New Year's. It was on specifically December 30th last year. And I weighed myself to make sure I had a accurate weight loss count. I was 396.4 pounds when I officially started, and I've been doing it pretty much uh, all the way till now. And so far now I weigh 361.8 pounds, so I lost a little over 30 pounds from doing it since then.
Wow, that is amazing. So you started in November and you did it for a while into the holiday season, and then you got off track, and then you got back on track December 30th, right?
Yes, and
So
I
during the
noticed, oh, not
oh,
to
no, no, go
cut
ahead,
you
go ahead.
off, but no, I noticed from back last July up till when I started in November, I had what people say the Keto Plateau, which was also the motivation that made me want to try carnivore too, to help me get off of that 396-ish weight part, because that's what I kept saying from after losing majority of the weight from keto.
Huh, okay. So it helped you break through a plateau. And did you feel differently, like from keto to carnivore? What were some of the changes you noticed?
Well, I still had the mental clarity. Of course, the weight loss, it was pretty rapid. Um, I would say, the other change, yes, definitely way more control over my appetite and staying full throughout the day to the point where I could even fast longer than I did on keto. I used to fast with keto for the minimum 16 hours, but since doing carnivore, I noticed that sometimes I go from 18 hours to maybe 24 hours of fasting. And I was never really able to do it not that long with keto unless I was really busy.
Hmm.
But now with doing carnivore, I could definitely fast longer than 18 hours. Like today, for instance, technically I've been fasting now for like 19 hours and 11 minutes,
Wow, that's great.
and I still really don't even feel hungry. If anything, I would say I'm thirsty, which, when I'm thirsty, I'll drink. But
Wow. So
I don't.
fasting, you're finding that a really helpful tool. Do you like fasting, or is it just like, oh, it's between meals, like it's not a big deal?
Honestly, I like fasting. At first, I didn't think I would because, again, I thought I would be like I used to be on the SAD diet where I would be hungry every like 30 minutes and wanting to eat something or snack. But actually, no, I don't even desire to snack too much. with being on carnivore, especially, I can fast longer and be satisfied and full throughout the day, or from one day to the next.
Yeah.
And
So,
I'm with the weight loss, I've noticed I'm losing inches as well on my waist and everything, and I do feel more energetic to stay up. I like doing it because I can fast a lot longer doing it on the carnivore diet versus when I was on keto, and I don't have a need to take any naps unless I want to. And I have steady energy throughout the day when I with me doing carnivore.
wow, that's great. I mean, that's the awesome part about eating this way is just like having energy throughout the day. So, have you talked to your doctors about it, or do they know what you're doing? Do they care, or do they ask?
Oh yeah, when I did when I first started keto, however, I did that based on my own. And when I went to see my doctor, as I said earlier, it was like a week after starting. So it was like July 13th, 2018. And it was so coincidence because I had switched doctors from one doctor to the next. And my previous doctor, I could tell she really wasn't that, I guess, what's the word? My previous doctor, her name was Dr. Yim. She wouldn't have been that supportive, and I think she would have questioned it a lot more because, like most medical doctors, they don't know really much about keto. And, well, you know about intermittent fasting, but keto was still fairly new and on the rise at this time. But when I switched to my new doctor, Dr. Allen, he coincidentally said he did the keto diet himself like a month before seeing him. And he had lost around 29 pounds from doing it himself. And
Wow.
I like the fact that I met him, and I figured it was fate for me to meet him because I was just transitioning from a sad diet to keto, and it was the best time to meet him because now I have a doctor who fully understands my health and my new path with my weight loss journey. So he would be more than understanding of what I did and what I'm going to go through because he went through it himself. So he's really supportive of me being on keto, and he's been watching these last few years my weight loss, and every time he sees me, he's just in shock and awe with my progress. And he just keeps saying, just keep doing what you're doing with keto and with your fasting, because you're doing an awesome job. And that you're one of my main, you know, patients that is a success story. And he was amazed because I literally, well, when I see him again, once the quarantine is over, he really gonna be shocked that I kept true and stuck to my diet now with the carnivore and intermittent fasting and lost even more weight since I saw him. Because you know how lately, since this quarantine has started because of coronavirus, a lot of people that was real like health and fitness fanatics and stuff, they even fell off of their diet because of being home and not being able to go out to the gym and outside and stuff. That they just got relaxed being home and fell off the bandwagon. But since then, I just kept going. I admit I have indulged in old eating habits, which is natural, which I've learned from through the group that I'm not the only person who has. But the main key far as what I learned from Dr. Basically to try to, watch my eating habits, eat specific foods that cater to my body type, which I found out I am an adrenal body type, where I gained all the weight in my midsection, mainly my abdomen, which has the what you call a pendulum or saggy belly. So that's the main area that I'm trying to really lose the most weight from now, which it has gone down a lot since I first started.
Mhm.
But they all say to with when you do cheat meals, just make sure when you do eat it, don't make it a habit. Just jump back on to back on track and keep going. Don't let one meal throw you off and just say, I give up and go back to eating how you used to because that's not going to help. That's only going to put you back where you first started.
Exactly. So, how do you eat now? What does that look like? And how does your family take, your new way of eating?
Well, right now, as I said, I do sometimes indulge in still eating like burgers sometimes with the bun on it and eating french fries. And that's the one thing that I hate. Sometimes that when I have cravings, like the hormonal changes, because I'm, still, I guess, pre-menopausal stage, and when I'm on my menstrual cycle, that's when the cravings really kick off for me. And I try to fight it as much as possible, but some days I'll give in during that time, but I get right back on track, and it seems like it doesn't make too much of a impact on my weight and what it say on the scale. And I try to eat. Uh, Usually I'll eat on a daily. I will always go to first and foremost the hamburgers, cheeseburgers specifically, with of course Gouda cheese on it. I'll eat two burgers with cheese. Um, and I make sure that the cheese is zero carbs. I ever since doing any of this, the keto and carnivore, I'm still fanatic at checking food labels. That's the main thing I do. Anything I eat that I can see the food label, I will look at it, and the first thing I check is for net carbs. Because my mom would get something from the store, and sometimes I indulge in the sugar-free candy that has sugar alcohol, not regular sugar-free, because that's one thing they need to teach. It's a difference. You can eat something that's sugar-free, but it's not. Oh, but no, the main thing, I just try to keep a lookout on what foods I eat from the nutritional facts, because I done became a fact checking nut, I would say. But the
So
main
you said,
thing, oh, go ahead.
well, you were saying that your favorite meals were cheeseburgers, and what else would you eat? Like, do you eat one meal a day? What do you eat actually?
Far as with the frequency of meals, I would say it varies from day to day. It depends on specifically what foods I may eat. Like if I eat the two cheeseburgers, I'll pair it, of course, with scrambled eggs. And if I eat that, a lot of times it'll help me to eat just once a day, and I can fast for 18 hours or so. But on average, I usually eat like two meals a day. I'll eat that technically as my first meal after breaking my fast, and then I'll eat something else for a second meal. Like if I get takeout in for my second meal, My one meal I really like eating that's really carnivore friendly. It's it's from this pizza joint that I've been going to since I was a teenager. They have this meal called the No Roll Chicken Cheesesteak. When you see it, it kind of reminds you of like a cheesesteak salad, so to speak, or a cheesesteak in a bowl. You get all the meat that you want and any condiments or toppings that you want without the bread. And I get that all the time. And I'll tell them
Nice.
to add shrimp to it. And some days I'll get lettuce, and sometimes I'll just get it as is with just the shrimp and the chicken and the cheese. And that will usually fill me up for the rest of the day. And I'll fast for, the 18 hours or longer.
Hmm. That sounds great. And do you do much cooking yourself, or do people, how does your family take the way you're eating? Do they cook, or do you, eat out a lot, or what do you do?
I say it's half and half. Sometimes I'll cook in the house, which is the burgers and the eggs, or I'll cook like for one concoction that I make, I'll just make like a simple carnivore type chili, I would say. Where it's just like ground beef sauce. Notice it's always pizza sauce. I don't use the
Um, Wait, you broke up. So your favorite thing is a carnivore chili that you said with ground beef and what?
ground beef and chicken or turkey mixed in, and I'll use a low carb sauce like Prego is one, the Prego pizza sauce, or the Ragu pizza sauce. I use their pizza sauce, not the regular one, because it's lower, much lower in carbs when you look at it. The Prego has five net carbs. Ragu has four net carbs, so that keeps me in the very low carb premise, than using the regular one because that
So wait, you were saying your favorite meal was the like carnivore chili with the pizza sauce, and then your other one was what?
it's like it's a carnivore keto version of a chicken stew that my dad used to make. He used to make it with like ground chicken or chicken breast and regular white rice and gravy. But I changed it to cauliflower rice with ground chicken and maybe chicken broth sometimes or a pack of gravy. And I'll cook it like that. And I would usually add the broccoli and cauliflower to it, as well as the cauliflower rice. And that's one of my favorite keto carnivore meals.
So it sounds like you've been able to adapt keto and carnivore to, to match the way that you were used to eating. So it doesn't feel all that different because it sounds like, I mean, you're able to like recreate your favorite nostalgic recipes and things that you used to grow up with. So that's, does that make it easier?
A lot easier. To me, doing both is pretty easy. I don't see how anyone couldn't do it. It's pretty simple to adapt it to your own lifestyle. You just simply switching or swapping out one of the carbs for a better alternative. Like as I said, my main food that I'll use as an alternative for rice is of course cauliflower rice and it tastes good. I really couldn't tell the difference.
So do your family members eat it too? Do they like it, or do they notice, even that it's not rice?
Well, at first, my mom and my sisters and them, when I told them about it, they was like me at first a little skeptical, wondering like, will you be full from it or will you be you'll eat it and then 1 minute you'll be like, I'm hungry. I gotta find something else to eat. Will it be fully satisfying, especially with doing fasting? And from them watching me do it, it actually made them make a choice to join with me. I first got my mom to do it. We were doing keto specifically back October, I say October 2018. Yep, she had joined 20 October 2018, and she's been doing it ever since. I noticed she's been indulging in a lot of, I would say, spinach or dark leafy greens. That's one of her favorite meals, like bacon, the thick cut bacon, and scrambled eggs with the spinach mixed into it for breakfast. And
Okay.
I did recently hear my sister, she had joined keto herself, and she said she had lost, I think, 5 pounds from doing it. And she had started back the beginning of June.
Wow, that's
She
excellent. So
likes,
you're spreading it around in the family.
I'm still kind of trying to get my brother Victor to do it, but he's, I guess, well, he'll do it just like my mom and sister did on his own time, but even he's noticed the changes, and he's always telling me how proud he is that I made the step to take charge of my weight and my health overall.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what's next for you? I mean, now that you have all of this energy and mental clarity, like how do you want to apply that to your life now?
Well, this has always been my biggest goal to reach is to basically to lose as much weight as I can, and my ultimate weight loss goal is to reach what I used to weigh in 2005, um, which was 180 pounds. That was the smallest weight I've ever been as an adult, believe it or not, because I struggled most of my life with weight problems ever since I was 10 years old. That's when the weight really started coming on from, I guess, lack of exercise and not really going outdoors so much. And, uh, well, yeah, and staying indoors and using food, I would say, is a comfort.
Mhm. So, but like when you're fasting, I feel like for me, when I'm fasting, it's like there's all of this time, and all the time not spent like cooking or cleaning or preparing food or thinking about food or cleaning up afterwards. Oh no, okay, there we go. Then, it's like there's a ton of time. And so it's like, what do I fill my time with? So for you, like you go these long stretches, do you feel like you now are, picking up a new hobby or, reading more or calling more friends?
Well, pretty much most times I'll watch YouTube videos. Specifically, I love watching YouTube tutorials on different types of beauty and makeup and wellness. That's pretty much what my next step is. I would like to at least try to go back to beauty school again. I tried once in July 2014, but it didn't work out well because I was still a lot heavier than I am now. And it just made me uncomfortable with, having to stand or trying to stand and walk around. I couldn't stay, so I did about 2 months of it and ended up having a withdrawal. But that's my biggest goal is to go back to beauty school and become a beautician and one day open up my own shop. Specifically, I like to run I would say, an eyelash extension shop as well as doing permanent makeup. like eyeliner makeup or micro shading or yes, micro shading for as like the eyebrows, ombre, powdered brows, and like lip liner, no, the lip blush and eyeliner permanent makeup. That has
Wow.
been so fascinating to me, especially lately. So I mainly watch YouTube videos, well, tutorials on how to do that. And I've been practicing as well on my student kit. I had bought a student kit for eyelash extension practicing classic eyelashes on my mannequin head. So I do that a lot of the time just to brush up on, my training and everything. So when I do go to apply to beauty school and do that, that I'll know what's to come or won't be surprised going into it. I'll at least have some experience to, master it.
Wow, that's really great. That's really cool. And I noticed your makeup is really good too. I do love my makeup, so I can appreciate that
Oh
for
wow.
sure.
But I do admit I don't wear makeup all the time. Most times I just wear like the eyebrow right now, but I don't really wear like the foundation and everything all the time. Most times it's just for taking pictures or glam shots, I call them.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have great skin, so you're lucky not to need it.
Well, that's because I use this stuff from a black-owned skincare business. His name is Ronnie, but his company is called Los Angeles Oils and Butters. His business is operated, of course, in Los Angeles, California, and he does all natural skincare and like he has this particular one that I've been using lately and I love it. It's called the Emo Serum. It's like a three-piece makeup, not makeup, a three-piece facial cleanser. You get the cleansing soap, which is emu infused soap. Then you use, I have the jasmine water, which is straight natural jasmine water, no chemicals or anything. Followed by his emu serum, which is made from natural emu oil. So I use all three of those, and so far it's really helped my skin. Also, of course, with doing carnivore, which is the other benefit, I notice my skin is a lot clearer and softer, and I
Wow,
don't get acne as much like I did before.
that's fantastic. Yeah, a lot of people ask me about my skin, and it definitely, I feel like it's definitely improved. I've always had like super dry skin, so for me, like to not, have to put like, lather tons and tons of creams and stuff on is a really big deal. And so I attribute that to just eating more fat. But I don't
With
know.
me, I have combination skin. Like it'll be dry in certain areas and like oily here in the T zone mostly. But now with using that and plus of course eating keto and carnivore, don't really have that problem.
Yeah. Another good reason, clear up your skin.
It gives it more of a glow, I noticed.
So, if people are interested in you and want to follow your story, like, can they do that? Do you have, social media? Do you have a YouTube channel? Can they, send you a message and ask you questions too?
I do have a YouTube channel, but I haven't posted anything on that particular channel since probably 10 years ago, and that was of my niece's hair and different like home videos and stuff.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
it's still open for
Oh no. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, go ahead. So it's still open for.
it's still open for if anyone wants to message me and ask questions. And I also have an Instagram page, which is mainly where I be at on social media.
Great. So are there other people that you know who even outside of your family that have seen your success and really been inspired to go on? Do you have like followers on social media or other people who know where you've come from and your story?
No, in Wisconsin, they pretty much know about it. And I would say the people I've met on here with you on the Carnivore group knows, and other friends and followers that's on my Instagram may know about it as well. And of
Okay, well
course,
now
my
everybody
doctors.
is gonna well now everybody's gonna know. I'm gonna do my best to get this out there, but I think that your story is really inspiring and can be really helpful for a lot of people in our community.
And honestly, I've come a long way. I originally well, at one time I had gotten diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I was in stage 4, which is pretty much the last stage of life. And my doctors at the time, the oncologists, they all still surprised that, that my health has improved since then. And I haven't had any reoccurrences or anything like that. So most of it, I would say, is because of doing keto and carnivore now, and I haven't had any because it helped me eliminate. I feel the main culprits that may have caused it, which was sugar, well, refined sugars and carbs.
So wait, I'm sorry. You just said you had stage 4 cancer, and what treatment did they give you for it, or did you get treatment, or was it solely changing your diet that reversed it?
I feel mostly it was the fact at the time it was summer, I would say summer 2005, around June 2005. So this month made actually 15 years since I've been, I would say, well, no, 14 years since I've been in remission from the cancer I had. But
Wow. I mean,
thank
that's
you.
wow, that's huge.
I used to worry myself a lot, being scared that if it's going to come back because that's one of the risks that a lot of people go through, that it may become active again and more aggressive than the first time. And I'm just thankful that God kept it where it hasn't come back. But I did get chemotherapy. I didn't get radiation therapy, thank goodness. But the chemo itself was pretty hard and tough to go through at the time. Because one of the medicines they gave me, it was called deoxyribonucin. It had affected my heart function where it had weakened my heart at the time, and they had to take me off of it and put me on another med called digoxin, which helped out. But even since then, that's the one thing they like to keep an eye on is my heart function. It caused me to have cardiomyopathy, where it's the weakening of your heart. But in January was the last time I got an echocardiogram done. It said that my heart function had improved. Well, it slightly improved since all of that had happened. So I like to think it's partly because of the medicine that they gave me, but mostly changing up my diet. I feel healthier.
Wow. I mean, that is that's a huge accomplishment there, and I'm so impressed and amazed. Like beating cancer is not easy at all for anybody, and that you have continued to stay in remission, and hopefully you will continue to see improvements and health improvements and everything. So I'm really pleased for you. Awesome.
Oh, I was about to say that it also helped me to reverse my diabetes. That was the
Yeah.
other thing that I was saying before. It was like that with the cancer, it created a domino effect. So basically, failing health, I had that, and then I had got diagnosed a couple years later with diabetes type 2, and it's reversed that. When I first started with keto in July 2018, my A1C had shot up to 7%. And my doctor was trying to get me to go on metformin. And I said, nope, I'm not doing that because I had started hearing bad stuff about metformin. So I was determined to stick with it. And up to this point, it went from 7% to now it is 5.8.
Wow. Amazing. Congratulations.
So haven't had really any issues with my blood sugar, which I feel that's what counts for the energy spike or the energy all day without really needing a nap, because that's one of the symptoms of being pre-diabetic or diabetic itself. It makes you sluggish and
Hmm.
tired. Where you have to sleep after literally any meal you may eat that spikes your blood sugar over a certain amount. And I don't even have it now, even
Yeah.
after meals.
Wow, that is really amazing. I am so impressed with your success and your progress. It's fantastic. So I'm gonna have to bring this to a close, but this has really been a fascinating conversation, and I really appreciate your, being so honest and sharing so much of your story with people. Like it just means so much to me, and I hope that I can come back to you and have a follow up to see how your continued progress and everything. Is that okay?
Sure, I don't mind, and thank you for having me.